Well, joining me now is security analyst Jonathan Onoja. He would be looking at the rising issues and others. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
A lot of issues to unpack, but I'd like to begin from the very start. The development in Zamfara and Kaduna State. In Zamfara, we've seen, unfortunately, policemen killed, but we are also told that many of the assailants were also neutralized. Perhaps that's good news, but having to lose policemen to this fight all the time. In Kaduna, on the other hand, we're told it's related to illegal mining. And in Benin Gwari, where we have had relative peace for, some would say, perhaps even a year or more. So my question then to you would be, are we witnessing a resurgence in areas like Benin Gwari, or is it that the problems didn't go away at all? What are we dealing with?
I don't think we're actually dealing with the problems. What we have in Benin Gwari is just a relapse, like the medical terms will put it. The situation was not properly nipped in the bud. It was a temporal relaxation of the activities of the insurgents that has happened over the years there. And then it's a temporal measures that were put in place. Apparently, there was a withdrawal of those intelligence. Perhaps they were not properly taken care of, and nobody knows what has happened. If there's a continued security in that place, I think the essence for security is to drive away insecurity. So if we had had security presence in that place continuously, what we saw may have not happened. And so my condolences to them, and I wish they could also understand that our trained security operatives will not continue to pay the ultimate price when their families are left behind. Nobody takes care of them, and including the lives of the vigilantes that we've lost. Nobody takes care of them. Most of these vigilantes are not even on payroll. Most times the community have to find something, put something together for them to be paid. And so it's so heartbreaking to see a young man who has put his life online, not protected, not in any way guided. Ordinarily, what is going to be the use of security votes if the people that are supposed to protect the people are killed on a daily basis? The police themselves are not protected. For you to have a security operative go to the war front, because what the situation now is, we are in war. To go to the war front, expectedly, there should be gadgets. There's not even shield. How many of our policemen did you see on the streets carrying the sheets? How many of them are carrying helmets? You heard the stories years back when some were stoned to death around the Wuse area here in the Federal Capital Territory. We have not talked about the kittens of our conventional security operatives. And these people that are going there, they don't have to use any magic. They have to still use their descriptions, even though I blame them to an extent. Today, when you see that the police are of security, generally security operatives are going for operation, even for arrest, they just go straight to the place. Back in the days when they're coming to arrest somebody, you see two or three have taken position on the other side in an event of retaliation. 2 or 4 has also taken side on the other side. Back in those days, we used to have foot patrols. What happened? Today, when you see that they are going for operations, you see the siren blowing, nobody knows. And then these people can also lay ambush. I think that's what may have happened to them. If they have strategically, positioned themselves and using the base of intelligence, they won't be having the numbers of, our police officers killed on daily basis. And it breaks my heart when I hear that.
Okay.
These ragtags in the name of bandits with rusty AK-47s. We go headlong, combat our trained police officers, our armies, and then bring them down. And the stories we come on the media to say that, few were neutralized and so some others escaped with, gunshot wounds and all of that. These are bullshit, man.
You say, language for broadcast, please. You say...
I'm so sorry, please.
Yes, you say rusted AK-47, but we've heard from even authorities, including governors, who allege that these ragtags, as you put them, have more sophisticated weapons. We've heard from a former president just recently at the book launch of the former CDS say these terrorists and bandits usually have more sophisticated weapons. So when you say rusted AK-47, I'm not sure a lot of people will agree with you. But do I hear you say that we have a problem with strategy, coordination, intelligence? Are those part of the issues here?
Yes, these are also part of the issues. And though I would like to respond to that,
Go ahead.
But quickly,
Yes.
I use the word rusted AK-47 because those people we talked about are the people we don't see in our conventional colleges.
Okay.
I mean, training centers, carrying out trainings, going to shooting range and all of that. So we wonder when they say they're carrying sophisticated weapons, who provide them these sophisticated weapons. I think it's an indictment on the part of the government as well. And so the government should have a way to solve that problems if they're not part of it. Then coming back to what you said, to me, if I got your question right.
What are the issues we're dealing with?
The
Strategy, coordination, technology, intelligence, political will. What exactly?
Of course, these are
is
that's
lacking?
why the issues of insecurity in Nigeria, of course, is multidimensional. And so, yes, the points I've made are valid. These are points that they all know. Lack of coordination, and even there is also interagency rivalry. There's no coordination even amongst our security agencies. That also affects the progress against insecurity, against the fight, the fight in insecurity. Then talking about the political will, I've not seen anything that the government is doing differently from what they have been seeing. We have the last administration of His Excellency, late former President Muhammadu Buhari. All they kept saying was the same. We have now Tinubu, His Excellency, with due respect, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is on board and nothing has changed. The strategies still remain. We talked about appointment of service chiefs. These service chiefs have been appointed. Nothing has happened, and there's no parameters to even check what they are doing while in office.
Okay.
There's no political will among the governors. Why would they continue to be giving security votes? And the purpose for the security votes is not being actualized, and we continue to get security votes.
All right, just before I let you go, as we wrap up, the president, as you've mentioned, is currently in Rome. He just attended the Akaba Process Summit, co-chaired by Jordan and Italy, and focusing on security matters in West Africa and the Sahel. Meetings like that, what should Nigeria be pushing for? We heard from the aide to U.S. President Donald Trump, Mr. Mossad, saying that the U.S. will continue to collaborate with Nigeria. But what are the tangible things Nigeria can bring up from such meetings? And then I also wanted to touch on the planned protest of the Free Nnamdi Kanu that is raising so much dust. You've heard a lot of people condemning the planned protest. As a security expert, are there any advice you would like to give to the authorities ahead of that protest?
Okay, first, to start with the first questions, I think, Mr. President, you understand that a house which is divided against itself cannot stand. We're talking about going all the way to go and have meetings. What happened to ECOWAS here? What happened to even the AU? When we have countries around us here having problems and being taken over by military because they fear that democracy is not in their system, have they been able to coordinate? Because I've advised over time that even what we have as the terrorism center, or terrorist, whatever we have, should become an African hub for African countries to come in place, and then displays their intelligence, showcase what they have, and then say how we can collaborate. Because we talk about porous borders, and these borders are linking to one African country or the other. So if the West African country can come together, understands their terrain, and then knows and police their border, because what we're talking about borders infiltrations over time, and that has also affected Nigeria greatly. We talked about Charlie, we talked about Mali, we talked about the Niger, and all of that. That these borders that we have around us, it's also a problem because our borders are being infiltrated, and we have porous borders. So if we are able to come together as one nation and said, look, we have a problem. If I police my border and you police your border, then we cannot talk about borders infiltration. Okay. That is one thing we should be talking about, and not about going all the way to be talking about having meetings that is not going to even yield results in Nigeria. Now, let me also touch about the planned protest of
very quickly.
Monday. Quickly,
yes.
What is insecurity? Is injustice, corruption. When people perceive upward cheat, What is happening as part of insecurity is the Biafra separatist that is also bringing agitations across the southeast. If the people feel that they don't want to be part and parcel of a country that they feel they have been cheated, allow them go. Allow them go. But in these instances, that is not the case. The young man have been in custody for years. What is the justice system all about? Is he going to be in custody until he dies?
So
I think that's what the protest is calling for. The protest is not saying that. It's not saying that. No.
So what advice are you giving to the authorities, particularly the police?
The advice I am giving to the authority, first to the judiciary, is to do the needful. Number two, our security agencies must know that one of the things that they ought to protect is the lives and property of Nigerians, not just about government.
All right.
So if the interest of the people is not being protected, it will degenerate to another insecurity.
Hopefully not. Thank you so much, security analyst Jonathan Onoja, for being here tonight. We do appreciate it.